Ruby Doobie Movies, Judas Cinema Closet, JT the Talking Head, Teo the Terminurdle, Zedzilla Movies, Masters of Matinee.
Happy New Year, JT.
Happy New Year, Zedzilla.
Every year, us avid movie watchers make this arbitrary goal of ours to create as many different resolutions as we can when it comes to movies. We want to watch more. We want to get to our backlog. We want to watch this one series. We want to get to the theater more. We want to watch more stuff in our collection. We want to tune into stuff on streaming. We want to see all of these movies that have escaped us since our childhood. What are your movie goals for this year? That's the question at hand.
Okay, I can dig it.
I can start us off.
I have one right off the dome. One movie goal.
Okay.
So I've said before in the show that I live pretty far away from any kind of civilization, and my closest movie theater is an hour away. Well, around the latter half of 2023, my wife and I started making the voyage, the hour, and making it date days to go out to that city that has the movie theater, and we would go and see movies. We have seen a couple double features around Halloween. We got to go see a double feature of Hocus Pocus and House of a Thousand Corpses, which is a very odd double feature. And then we got to go see, which this isn't even really a double feature, we just saw them on the same day. We got to see Godzilla -1 and A Christmas Story on the same day, which was also a very odd double feature. So I'm going to say that my first and main major movie goal of the year is to just see more movies in theater. I always loved the cinematic experience. Shout out to a previous episode that Zed and Drew and I did in season 1 about our favorite theatrical experiences. That's one of my all-time favorite episodes that we've recorded. If you haven't seen it, go back to the season 1 playlist on Spotify and on YouTube, guys, and listen to that. It is a wonderful episode. But I think my goal is to see more movies in theaters, and probably more of a specific to see more re-releases in theaters, more older classic movies. I know that like Fathom Events is like releasing, like they just did Mean Girls today. I didn't get to see that, unfortunately, but I know that I think in a couple months they're releasing Gone with the Wind. That would be really cool to go see in theaters, I think. So, yeah, go see more movies in theaters. That's my first movie resolution.
And that's a very solid one, because it's always the ones that are re-released, the ones that you get the opportunity to actually see on the big screen, that honestly make me feel more inclined to get out and go watch them. Like, of course I want to go see new releases, but I've never seen Jurassic Park on the big screen. I've seen it on my little tiny screen, so I would love to venture out and have a viewing of it on the big screen. And there's a bunch of movies like that. Gone with the Wind is a great example. I mean, that movie is one of the quintessential movies in all of cinema, and to be able to just have that experience the one time is worth it. It's worth it. So I love that.
I've never seen it either. I think it'd be really cool
for Me neither.
I think it'd be really cool for my first time to ever watch it, to be in a theater. There are movies like that it's just like, it's been so long since they've come out, and I just haven't seen them, that I'm just like, I might as well wait to see them in like the coolest way, the best quality possible. Like, I just saw Titanic a couple weeks ago because it came out on that 4K disc. Like, and I waited because I wanted to see what Cameron did with his new scan, and with the the Dolby Vision and the 4K and all that stuff, all the stuff that Zed doesn't give a shit about. I wanted to see it.
One ear and out the other. Have no idea what he's talking about.
I wanted to see it in the best quality possible, so I just waited till it came out. So yeah, I would love to see like Casablanca. I've never seen Casablanca. It'd be so cool to see it.
I watched it last year for the very first time, and it's a good one. It's a good one. Is it theater worthy for me to go see? I don't know if I would have like had a heightened experience in the theater, but it is. Again, it's one of those quintessential ones. It's like Citizen Kane or even like Shawshank Redemption, the ones that everyone's talking about, The Godfather. So yeah, if you haven't seen those movies, why not see them how they were originally intended?
I you wouldn't be able to get me to go to a theater to see The Godfather. It's too long.
It's
It's one of
very
those which and I'm saying sitting here saying I go see Gone with the fucking Wind in a theater,
which
but The Godfather is it's too long. And honestly, that the movie is great, and it's Coppola is a hell of a director, and but what makes that movie are the characters and the story, not the visuals. That's not a movie that's like overly visually stimulating. So I don't really, and I'm gonna get crucified for those for some of my fellow film talk community and film tube community. But I don't think that I personally need to see a movie like The Godfather in theaters.
yeah. Yeah, yeah, that's a really good goal, and especially I know where you're out there. It's out in the sticks, out in the middle of bumfuck nowhere. So I don't blame you for like not wanting to make that trip, especially with like all the other stuff. Like we're both big boys, we both have bad backs. It's never fun. When they installed the recliners, they were like, "There you go, big boys," and I'm like, I still can't fit. What do you? I still can't fit in those dang recliners. So that's a really good solid one to start off with. In reality, I really only have one big major one for this year, which is to just watch the movies that I need to watch when I need to watch them.
You made a great TikTok video about just that subject, and you almost made me cry a little bit with that. It's a very good
Oh,
point with
come
it.
on.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where I think that mentality was instilled in me a few years back. You know, I was going through a big breakup in my life, and my buddy told me just watch a movie that makes you feel um, ready to take on the world. I suppose something that'll make you motivated, because let me be very transparent here. The reason why my relationship ended was because I wasn't ambitious, right? I was sort of afraid and in my own shell and in my own world. So what did I do? I popped in Rocky, and I watched like in my mind, like the quintessential underdog story, where in the end he doesn't win, but he wins the people's hearts. He is the people's champion.
Yep.
And I love that story. I love that fight, that drive that movie gives you. And it's not a pummel fest where people are just punching and no, like you watch this riveting love story, these relationships blossom. You watch this guy who thinks little of himself really come into his own. And I love that. And that message from my friend to just watch something that motivates you has always stuck with me. And after that relationship, so much other stuff that's way more important has happened and transpired. And yet I have maintained my focus on these arbitrary things that I've set for myself that they don't add anything in the moment. They don't, they're just like, I'm watching these movies for the sake of watching them because I think I have to. I think I need to. It's like, well, need to is like sort of my whole thing is I need to watch them, but there's a difference between I need to watch these movies because, you know, friends are dogging on me, or I need to like, you know, I want to join my friends in talking about this and yada. There's like these, and then there's actual need. You know, that whole video I made for TikTok was because I had a death in the family, and instead of continuing on my Godzilla binging that I was doing, I just needed to watch Coco. That's all I needed in that moment.
Right.
And gosh, was it ever a lovely decision? Like it completely transformed that evening for me. and I needed that. And after it happened, it wasn't a conscious decision. It was it was in hindsight. I was like, I feel like more people need to hear this because I've been hearing a lot of, or not hearing, but listening to a lot of folks talk about their goals through our Discord or through their videos. And it's a lot of, you know, arbitrary goals that I feel that folks feel like they're supposed to do. And you're not supposed to do anything in this hobby other than have fun and enjoy yourself. Um, and that's what I plan on doing this year is just watch the movies I need to watch.
I think that that can that point of yours can also relate to physical media collecting as well. Um,
Mm.
I know that you probably don't have this issue as much as the rest of us because your collection is scavenged from the Goodwill and the big lots, you know. Um, but you know the peer pressure and the FOMO and everything with the physical media industry, you know, if you go take a trip on Reddit to any of those boards, there's going to have those elitist cats that are like, you have to see Seven Samurai, you have to see Eraserhead, you have to see Citizen Kane, you have to see this, you have to see that. And it's like, no, I don't. I don't need to see
No,
every movie. Like, there's been, trust me, I've been swept up in it as well, where I'm just like, when I was younger, I'd be like, oh my God, you've never fucking seen this movie, like insert XY movie. You need to change that ASAP. Um,
yeah,
and then I had to check myself and remember that I was like, motherfucker, you've never even seen Titanic. Like, chill the fuck out.
yeah,
So, like, yeah, I think that, but with physical media collecting, like, we're so pressured to buy all these new releases and stuff, and to buy certain editions of each release and everything, and it's like, gotta get this release. You have to see this movie. You have to do this. And it's like, no, I don't have to do anything. I can sit here and watch the movies that I want to watch that look appealing to me and make me feel good. And that's all that fucking matters. And at the end of the day, to me, as long as you are watching movies and enjoying the art, it doesn't matter which movies you're watching. I don't care if you're watching the same comfort movies over and over again. Just enjoy the art. That's the important part, is to enjoy that artwork. Somebody put blood, sweat, and tears.
yeah. I think that the discussion of peer pressure in this community is a very apparent one. You know, I see a lot of people that are going above and beyond their means to acquire these items
Yeah.
for what? Like, I get it. There's a thing called cinema sickness. We all have it. We all want to get out there and grab as many movies as we can because there's a high off of it. There's a thrill. And I understand that and I sympathize with that. But Lord have mercy. If I see another like video about the same 4K, I'm gonna lose my mind. Everybody is doing the exact same thing, talking about the exact same thing. And I love you guys. You guys are all sweethearts. But the peer pressure of it all is something that is very evident for someone like me who doesn't buy into it. Literally, I don't buy into it. It's not my cup of tea. And it's not a place of judgment for me to bestow upon you, like, don't do that. But like, think about it for a little bit, folks. Just think about it. Do we really need to pick up this brand new 4K of a movie that has been watchable for the past 40 years? How come? Why do we need that right now? I mean, you can get it eventually, but like right now, 40, 50, 60 bucks, that's insane to me. That's a lot of movies.
I mean, on a certain level, I can agree with you, but also on a certain
I
level,
know.
as
It's
you
always
know,
going to be an agree to disagree.
I know because I I can agree with you because I know of some collectors out there who are putting themselves in debt to collect and who are
Yeah.
actively choosing a movie over a meal. And I know
Yeah.
collectors out there who buy everything and then they don't watch it. It just sits on their shelf and rots. But they're every Tuesday they're at Walmart, they're at Target, they're at probably not Best Buy for much fucking longer, but they're at those stores and they're buying everything on the new release shelf just because they're this completionist mentality. It's like, you know that you can't collect everything, right? Like you're
Yeah.
already behind the game because DVD's been releasing for for all these years, and Blu-ray's been out since 2006. I unless you've been doing this practice of buying every little thing since 2006, you're not going to complete the set. You're not going to get all 25,000 Infinity Stones, Thanos. Okay, there's no balance to be
No.
found here. Don't put yourself in debt over it. And Judas and I were talking about this the other day. He brought up a
Oh,
really good
really?
point. We were talking to Horror Film Kid 48. Shout out HFK. Um, the he was talking about how he's seen over the rise of the pandemic and stuff how film talk, because film talk in general, and film tube as well, is a to me a product of the COVID-19 pandemic. People were stuck at home. They were watching
Huh.
movies. They were buying movies on Amazon, and they were making videos. Some people had the bright idea to make videos opening movies and put it on TikTok, and it started a trend. And others followed. Judas pointed out to me the other day that we are now seeing a lot of those people who started collecting back in like 2020 now selling their collections because the trend is dying down, and it's like also a super saturated market now. There's
Mm.
so many film talkers, and I'm not complaining because the more people, the
No.
better. The more people collecting physical
Bigger.
media, the more people watching movies, the better. I love it.
Me familia. Me
Yeah.
familia, baby. I love it.
But I think it's come to the point where like you got to realize like you're not going to catch the algorithm on TikTok by opening movies, and because there's only
Sure.
a few that have done that, and they did it early, and they did
Yeah.
original unique things, and it's just probably not going to happen anymore. So don't go into debt trying to do it, that's my biggest point. Don't go
Mm.
into debt. Don't buy into the FOMO. If there's a release on the that was all, that was devil's advocate, but my true heart says there's a release. I mean, look at all these box sets that I got back here, guys. There's a release that's 50, $60 that you really freaking love, buy it. If it's a movie that you truly love, the Arrow Video is releasing the Conan the Barbarian and Conan the Destroyer. Yeah, look at like the folklore trilogy, right? Or what is it? What is that? Is that a trilogy?
It's called the Irish Folklore Trilogy, and it was beyond my means for a long time. And I just so happened to get enough Christmas money to just say, okay.
Hmm.
So I picked it up, but I knew that I didn't need it because it was something that I wanted, but I didn't need it. So I held off until I could just justify it because it's Christmas money.
Right. Right. Treat yourself with your Christmas money. But I've got the like Arrow Video is releasing Conan the Barbarian and Conan the Destroyer on 4K. Those two movies
Mm.
mean the world to me, especially Barbarian, because it's a movie that I used to watch with my dad growing up. Conan the Barbarian was the first time I ever saw boobs in a movie. Like I I love that freaking movie so much. And so I'm gonna get this $50 4K box set with that collects both of them. So if it's a movie that you love and you're gonna enjoy and you're gonna be super proud to put it on your shelf, yeah, buy it, man. If you have the means, buy it. But don't have the means, don't go into debt over it. Come on, guys.
No, yeah, it's one of those things where JT and I have talked about it before. I love double dipping for certain things because I'm sort of like a baseball card. They have different art, they have different stats, they have different things on it that I really, really enjoy and I appreciate. But I never, ever go beyond my means to acquire them, to add them to my collection. At least I try not to. There's always that time where you bring home five more than you should, but nonetheless, that's still your. This is a collection. This is a hobby. You go overboard with your hobbies sometimes, and that's perfectly okay. But I do see a lot of folks out here who are trend hopping, who are trying to catch the algorithm, who are trying to break into this. And that's all well and good and amazing. And I love that for you. But sweet baby Jesus, folks, I see some of you guys on here who walk away with like 7 new releases a week, all on 4K and Blu-ray. That is a lot of money. That's an insane amount to be spending on that sort of stuff. And it's a lot of it are titles that have been available for 20 years, 30 years. And I love that for you. I really do. Honestly, maybe it's jealousy that I wish I could do it. Maybe there's a tad bit of like, oh, I wish I could go and pick up all these brand new movies. But in reality, I am in shock sometimes when I see the people's receipts. Are you doing?
You know, that also reminds me of another point too. It's like I have seen this discourse online of more so YouTube, but also TikTok of people doing these videos, unboxings, and they're getting free stuff from a studio.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Like
And
swag.
I've well not just swag, but they're getting like the newest freaking releases sent to their door for free. Which is
Oh, sure. Yeah.
we're gonna get back to the free aspect here in a second. Um I've seen this discourse online that's really been bugging me lately with some YouTubers and some TikTokers that I really respect. Where
Oh,
people are basically starting to attack them because they're like, "You're not a real collector. You just get movies sent to you for free. That's not how collectors do. Collectors buy their own stuff." No, stop, stop typing. Here's the thing: if you make videos on YouTube or TikTok and you have the the gumption to do that and you kind of blow up and a studio or a boutique label or whatever reaches out to you and is like, "Hey, we want to send you stuff for review." Ain't not one of you typing that hateful shit in the
oh
comments
yeah.
going to say no to them. You are all going to say yes in a heartbeat because it is all of our dreams to do that. Yeah, we do this for fun. We make videos for fun. We make podcasts for fun. But I ain't gonna lie, man. Like it is like a goal to get myself successful enough to get screeners because it's freaking cool. It's like it's something, and I have got screeners from like digital screeners for movies that aren't even in theaters yet, and that to me is super cool. And I get
Yeah.
some screeners sometimes from like Overly Honest Movie Reviews when I work for him, and it's like eh, that's the thing. That's the keyword: work. It's not free. These people aren't getting stuff sent to them by studios for free. They have to work for it to do a review for it. Now, admittedly, I have seen some, you know, on TikTok and stuff, it's really easy for them just to like media mail day, open it up. I got sent this, it's available here, and it's basically a little advertisement for the disc and not actually a review. Not saying there's anything inherently wrong with that content. Not my favorite. I would prefer if you actually got sent something to actually review it and tell your audience if it's worth it or not. Be honest about it and put in that actual work. But the ones that I'm referring to that are getting all these hate that I really, really, and I'm not going to name names, but the ones that I really respect here on these
Yeah.
platforms are putting in work. They're genuinely working, doing probably all right, I'll name one name, and he's not even, in, to my knowledge, been getting hate of this. Overly Honest Movie Reviews, Chris. He reviews probably for his website 3 to 4 movies a day, 5, 6 days a week, sometimes at the minimum 5 days a week. Like,
That's
and
crazy.
on top of working a full time job, like a regular
That's
day job.
dedication. It's
Yeah,
dedication.
it's a pure passion thing. He is
Absolutely.
fueled by doing it, by just the passion of doing it, and then these, it also helps to build his collection, of course, and that's a perk and a benefit, of course. But doing a full time workday and then doing 3 to 4 reviews a day, written reviews. These are written reviews. These are not. He does not just log on a TikTok and say, "Hey, here's an
No.
unboxing of this." He writes a 500 page or 500 word rather written review. Yeah, no, he does 500 page reviews a day,
Imagine
1,500 pages a day. He has to write a thesis on each movie he reviews.
what a nightmare. Imagine getting like Ugly Dolls and having to write a thesis on Ugly Dolls. You're like, Gabriel Iglesias was in it.
The only movie that I could ever see anybody like writing a full thesis on would be Paddington 2.
My whole heart. I mean, also, we have to mention Roland Emmerich's 1998 American masterpiece Godzilla, starring Matthew Broderick, which we all have lots to say about.
Yes. Roland Emmerich's
But I think
1998 American masterpiece, Godzilla, starring Matthew Broderick. Of course. How could I forget?
which Teo has never been able to pronounce properly. And he pretends like it's a bit. It's not a bit. He just doesn't remember the entire thing. So don't let him fool you. A thing I want to tag onto what you just said is never let somebody shame you for your successes. That's a really big thing, that when somebody who you feel that you are just as good as, or maybe you feel that you're better than them, and you see them rising to the top, getting lots of comments and views, and they're getting sent stuff, or at least being reached out to. Drew, I'll talk about Drew. Drew has gone from just, hey guys, I went to go see a movie, to everybody's favorite person. Like, and that's really, really cool, because let's be fair here. And I think Drew will be the first person to say there's nothing inherently special about the videos he makes, except one quality, one thing, one aspect none of us have, which is Drew.
Yep.
Never let somebody shame you for your successes. Never think that you are better than or less than somebody else. There is nobody out there that has you. So be you, make your videos, and enjoy yourself, and have fun, and support those people who are having those successes. Because when it comes time, and I really hope that time comes for each and every one of us, I hope that when I turn back to my friends and other movie talkers, I hope they're proud and excited for me. So I want to show that to you as well.
Well,
it's
even
common courtesy,
even
and
more
decency.
than just being proud and excited for your friends, not treating them different. I don't care. Like, I don't give a shit that Drew got 1 million views. Change his name to Droobies Doobies Viewvies for all I give a shit. He's still Drew to me. I love the guy regardless. If he was getting 1 view or 10 million, I don't care. Like, don't treat your friends differently just because they pop off on TikTok. And it's like, I don't know, man. I agree with you. I definitely agree with you. Like, be proud of your friends' successes. Don't shame others for their success. It's just, I think it just comes down to the tenet of, hey, don't be an asshole online. Come on, guys.
No, right? I Another one of my goals this year is to make videos. And again, all too often we pressure ourselves to make the last one, or to make this one just as good as the last one, to make it better, I suppose. And we all get compliments on our videos, and it's almost paralyzing when you get good feedback, because it's like, how am I ever going to compare? How am I going to step it up next time? How am I going to and that's not fair. That's not fair to do. Um, every video doesn't need to be your magnum opus. It doesn't need to be the big best thing. You are the big best thing. You're the person who is, again, different from the rest of the crowd. So enjoy making your videos. If you're having a good time, as somebody who doesn't really have any, I'll put it this way. Whether you're collecting rocks or buttons or jars of sand, if you're passionate about it, I'm passionate about passionate people. So it doesn't matter what you're talking about. If you're passionate about it, I want to be there with you. I want to watch it. I want to learn from somebody who really, really cares. And that's my goal, is just to talk about my passions and to get those videos out there when I can. And I hope people enjoy them at the end of the day. But they're really just for me. They're just for me. And that's another thing I think a lot of us need to learn. Or not, I guess, yeah, we need to learn. Make videos for yourself, people. Seriously. Make videos that you want to watch. If you're watching your video back and you're not holding your own attention, that's a toughie. You got to make videos that you enjoy. Videos when you look back on, no matter how far back. I have videos online that are no beard, And I love it. I have friends who are embarrassed when they go back and watch old videos and they look at old pictures on social media. It's like, folks, we all change. Uh, and it's good to go back and look at all of those people that you used to be and be okay with it. So don't worry about making your next big break. Don't worry about making that video better than the last. Don't worry about the people who are going to judge it and critique it and whatever. Just be passionate, put out those videos and have a good time. Because at the end of the day, this is just a hobby and it's a very fun one.
Yep.
But it should, at the root of it all, stem from the reason why you turn on the camera for the very first time.
Yep.
That's where it all needs to stem from.
Why did you turn on the camera for the very first time, Zed?
Because I love to talk. Genuinely, it's because I love to talk. And there's a lot of folks that I'm friends with who don't share the same interests. It's like opposites attract. And although I tune in to the things they love and adore and I will participate, it's not wholeheartedly my passions. And a lot of them who had gotten into movies or had, random silly collections like you see back here, they were getting out of it. And I wasn't. And I wanted people to talk to. So I created that bridge. I turned on the video and just said, "Hey folks, I'm Zed." And I talked. And that was enough for me. I made videos for years on YouTube without any traction, really, and across many different channels.
Same.
And I adored it. And I met a lot of very fabulous people. And I was told by a friend one day, "Hey, why don't you try posting on TikTok?" And I thought, why not? What's the worst that could happen? Nobody watches it. TikTok's very different. It's almost instant gratification. You see the views go up, people like, people comment. It's super easy to engage. And I fell in love with it. I really, really did. But it all stemmed from, I just wanted to talk. What about yourself?
TikTok is the dopamine machine for sure.
Mm-hmm. It really is. It really, really. I mean, I remember going and refreshing Drew's page and getting dopamine, seeing his views go up. I'm like, hell yeah, Drew! Like, it was something that I was so proud of, and I was so excited for him because I knew. And this is if you've seen Drew's big 100 million, Drew's big 1 million video, he had no reaction other than, "I didn't think it was going to blow up like that." He had no reaction other than,
literally.
"Wow."
He got in a call with us like shortly after that for a meeting, and he was like, "Did y'all see that?" We were like, "Yeah, we saw it." He's like, "That's wild, huh?" We were like, "Yeah, buddy, that was fucking wild." He's like, "Yeah, that was wild." And then we just fucking moved on. like he was so nonchalant about it.
And it's so cool. It's so cool. And again, I'm not speaking for Drew, but I feel like he is in a very similar place when he just wanted to talk.
I want to ask him that. Ask him that next time he's on.
Yeah.
So.
It's an interesting question. What about yourself?
I wanted to entertain. It's not necessarily I wanted to talk type thing. I just wanted to entertain people. That's all I've ever wanted to do, was to be an entertainer. I've always looked up to guys like SNL cast members, Belushi, Chris Farley, stuff like that. I just like being entertaining. I was a class clown in school. I just I like being disruptive and being loud. And if I'm a monkey locked in the cage, give me a tin cup, because I'm gonna rattle those bars all up and down all day, man. Like, I just, hey, look at me. I mean, it might sound like to be a vain thing, but I like to entertain people. And I going back to what you were saying about like make videos that you want to watch. I don't put a video out if I'm not happy with it. I watch every one of my videos 6 or 7 times before I post them after editing them.
Wow.
Like I just to make sure that I'm happy and entertained with it. Because if I can make myself laugh, that's all that matters. And if I can keep
Mhm.
my own attention in a video, that's all that matters. Uh, and I pick myself apart as well, but like I mean, as long as I can keep engaged with my own content, I'll put it out in the world. Sometimes it comes back to me and it's uh well received, and sometimes it's not. um I will say this though, every single video that I've ever made on movies, I've only ever had one that caused turbulence, and it wasn't anything that
Oh,
I did. It was me calling out some of my complaints with Scream Factory as a Blu-ray label, and some people were like, I don't agree with that. And then I was just like, why don't you agree with that? And they told me why they didn't agree with that. And I'm like, well, I don't really agree with your point, but we can agree to disagree. And they were like, okay, whatever. And that was like the most turbulent thing. But before, when I did gaming videos and stuff, oh buddy, I got torn apart. Gamers are the worst people on the
they
planet.
every every gamer is simultaneously the best gamer in the world and the absolute worst gamer in the world, but they speak as if it's like backseat driving.
Yeah.
Everything that you do is a mistake. You never do it properly. Why didn't you cook for longer? You threw it too soon. It's like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, that
Yeah.
or oh my god, look at his double chin. Ha 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 ha. Gamers are the
Oh,
most
sure.
toxic people.
Yeah, yeah. I don't even really think about the toxicity part of it. Yeah, yeah. People pointing out every little, yeah. It's like it's it's like gamers are in a constant state of being 13 years old, and every 13-year old, they're good at one thing, and that's finding every weakness you have, every little thing that you hate about yourself, every insecurity, things that you didn't even know were things. Like you'll be sitting there playing a game, and they're like, "Did you know that your right nostril whistles?" Huh? What? I had no idea. When you drink, you gulp really loud. No one's ever told me that before. How did you figure that out when I have had all these other experiences with people? It just it's the name of the game. That's just how they are, I suppose. It's unfortunate part, but yeah, I suppose what I'm trying to say, people, is have fun this year. Have fun, enjoy yourself, make the things that you want to watch, and don't feed into being the biggest and the best, because it always occurs this way. The things that you think are going to succeed don't. It's the ones that you don't expect. It's the least expected ones that catapult you.
Yeah.
And that's when you ride the ride, and that's when you have a lot of fun. It's just riding that high of that unexpected video that pops off, or what have you. Um, it's it's great, and we all. And another beautiful thing about this community is we're all so different. When you go watch a JT video, you're gonna have a talking head video. When you go watch a Zed video, you're gonna get a Zed video, Judas video, a Judas video, and that's beautiful. And we have so many new friends in this community, like Hobbit and Ash and Mo and HFK and all of these wonderful people, Chris, who make amazing videos in their own right because it's them. It's just them, and that's what I'm passionate about. Those passionate people, and I might tease them every so often for not having a light on. HFK, what are you doing recording in the dark? Get what is going on? That's absolutely absurd. But nonetheless, have fun with it, folks. Like, this is what it's all about.
Shout out to the mommies out there. The mommies, HFK, Monique, Cinema Chris, Anxious Hobbit. Y'all are the best. Y'all are absolutely the best. Go follow them. Everyone listening to this, go follow them on TikTok right now. Pause this video. go follow them, come back and finish the episode.
Yeah. Now, I'm going to ask you another thing.
Oh boy.
Letterbox, is it actually worth doing? Like, I've been hearing a lot of folks this year talk about I want to do Letterbox more, and it's like every time I try to start, I get so ambitious that I burn out immediately. And what's the right way of going about that?
I am picky with my Letterboxd. I don't keep track of every movie that I watch. I don't want to. I don't have a desire to. I don't take a pride and I've watched this many movies this year, like, not saying that people who do. I mean, I've seen a lot of posts about people who, like, I watched 300 movies this year, and it's like, that's great for you, and if you care, that's fine, that's your thing. It's not mine. um and I know a lot of people use Letterbox as a way to just rate a movie and be like, maybe write a short sentence on their general thoughts of it. I use Letterbox as a way, as a companion with Overly Honest Movie Review. So if I get a
Sure.
screener sent that I have to write a review for, that goes on the OHMR site, it goes on the OHMR site first, and then it goes to Letterbox, and then it goes to IMDb, and that
Mm.
is the process of it. And we're not even required to post it on Letterbox. Chris just was like, "Hey, you guys might want to do this on Letterbox because it can help you with your film criticism getting discovered and all that stuff." Um, but the yeah, I don't use Letterbox like that. I when I started Letterbox in 23. Back in 23, I started then, and I started doing that for every, like, logging every movie I made, and I was just like, this is exhausting, and the time that I'm spending in between watching movies to write these reviews could just be spent watching more movies. Why am I not just watching
Yeah.
more movies? So that's how I use Letterbox. It's sparse. And also a heads up, I haven't logged into my Letterbox in a few months because I haven't done any work for OHMR in a few months. So if you are a Film Talk follower or a YouTube follower and you followed me over there and I have not followed you back yet, I'm sorry. Maybe I'll eventually get to you if I log back in ever again.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've kind of let Letterbox go by the wayside at this point. I don't know. How do you think it should be used, Zed?
I don't know if there's a correct way. Just like making a video, there's not a correct way of doing it. There's always a way to make your video look better, sound better, but at the end of the day, it's sort of how I view movies. If the movie's good, doesn't really matter if it's a DVD or a Blu-ray. If the movie's good, it's going to be enjoyable. So I don't think there's a right or a wrong way of doing it. I've had, I think, 3 Letterbox accounts over the last couple of years, and I used to be very religious about it. Like, every movie I watched, I would log, but then I would watch a repeat and I wouldn't be able to log it because I've already logged it. And those things would be like frustrating technicalities that would lead to me being like, I don't know, maybe I need to catalog elsewhere. Maybe I need to post on Instagram. And I did an Instagram account. You can go find it. It's called Watchin' Movies, at Watchin' Movies. And I would put all my reviews there, and I made a bunch of, you know, graphics for it. And I loved doing it. But then I felt like it was all of a sudden work. I was watching movies so that I could post my reviews to nobody, really. And you're right. I could have spent that time watching more movies or making more videos or doing something that I actually was passionate about. I am not wholeheartedly passionate about writing reviews for everything I watch. I always have opinions, I always have things I like and dislike, but as movies are, they're subjective. Go watch it yourself. Who cares how many Zilla stomps I gave it? Go tune in, see what you think, because there's a high probability that eventually I'm going to rate something very high that you really dislike, or I'm going to rate something that I really dislike that you love. So go tune into those movies. Don't buy into the criticisms of every person that you admire here on TikTok or their. Go watch the thing for yourself, and maybe you will agree at the end of the day. Maybe you'll go watch it, come back to the person's video, and be on the same page. But I don't know. I don't think there's a right or wrong way. I just say go watch the movie, enjoy it, and if you do enjoy it, talk about it.
Can I make admit something to you?
Oh,
Even when I use Letterboxd, I never ever read other people's reviews. I don't ever read anything on Letterboxd ever. I'll read my comments
um,
sometimes, uh, but I just post. I don't read at all anybody's reviews.
yeah, I guess I have read a lot of people's reviews, but I think it's sort of similar for a lot of people who get into certain niches. They will tend to really only focus on what they're doing, and they let other stuff go to the wayside. And there's a ton of people on here that I do enjoy that I just don't watch very often. I don't tune in. I don't read their reviews. I don't hop over to their YouTube channel. And we always have all of these calls to action, but we don't follow them ourselves. We're not really leading by example, which is unfortunate, but it's the truth. I mean, let's be very transparent here. While we that's just the truth of the matter. I don't tune in to every single episode of every friend I have because I've, I don't want to.
I I do. I search all of you guys every day on TikTok and watch your new videos every day.
I know, and but you've also been very vocal about that. That you have your algorithm on TikTok. You have that space that is curated to your special interests.
My fucking algorithm is a mess now. None of my friends are popping up anymore, and it's starting to piss me off. I even had to
That,
message Judas the other night because his videos hadn't like he took a break over Christmas, like over the
you
entire
did,
month of December. He wasn't on. The only thing he did creatively was he was on the Christmas special for the show. That's it. He didn't do TikTok. He didn't do Instagram. He didn't do anything. He came back to TikTok last week and started
yeah,
posting again, and not a single fucking one of his videos has popped up in my FYP. I've had to search his name every single day. I just messaged him the other day. I was like, Judy, I love your fucking videos. They're some of my favorite on the entire platform. It's why I fucking hired you to do this podcast. And they're not showing up in my FYP, and I'm pissed about it. Please tag me in your videos so I'll
yeah,
get a notification when you post, because I want to watch my friends' videos and they're not popping up. And instead, what I'm getting is I'm getting the videos of a bunch of people who followed me, and they are film talkers, and then I follow them back, and they leave me followed for a week, and then they're vain people who only give a shit about following, and then they unfollow me because they got my follow,
yeah,
and that's all that fucking matters. And now I'm getting all of their videos.
yeah. We have a friend. We have a friend again because of people and their vainness. I'm not going to name names, but we have a friend who recently just did like a what's it called when you just like delete a bunch of people.
Just like
He just
a purge.
he purged. That's the perfect word. He purged a bunch of stuff, and for his own sake, like he had a bunch of folks on there that I guess we kind of narrowed it down a little bit by saying he, but whatever. Had a bunch of people that he quite honestly didn't really have a desire to view, and he purged a bunch of people to really narrow down the individuals that he is seeking out. And I admire that to a certain extent. If I ever got to the point where I was watching, people's content on the regular, I do sort of do what you do, lots of do's in a row, which is I'll search up Judas, I'll search up HFK, I'll search up Hobbit, and
That let the record show. Zed said doo doo.
whatever. This guy over here is really pissing me off.
You
But
gonna go
I'll
fuck my
seek
house?
out I'll seek out people and watch their stuff, and I'll binge watch a couple things in a row, and I'll enjoy my time, but then I'll log off and I won't, tune in again. And this is all stuff that I I wish to remedy this year. I hope to make more connections and to view more people's content, because to be honest, there's a lot of folks out there who I really enjoy that don't have the reach that they should, and they need that reach. They need to find people, need to find them, and I need to do my due diligence and support them so that their videos actually are pushed out. And I don't want to name anybody because I don't want to exclude anybody by doing that, but there are a few people that come to mind that they are passionate, they are consistent, and they deserve more eyes in front of them. And they deserve my support because these same people show up to my videos, show up to your videos, show up to Judas's videos.
Amen,
and yet
amen.
I'm not really showing my appreciation. And they're not asking for it either, which is what makes them very lovely individuals. But nonetheless, that is another thing that maybe I would want to remedy this year, is just to support people that I truly, truly enjoy.
A good goal to support your friends, to watch your friends' videos and stuff. I mean, like I want to point that out too.
Oh,
That these, because I know who you're talking about when you're saying these individuals, and they never do ask for you to view their videos or like their videos. Like we have in our server, we have like a promote yourself tab, and they'll drop every video they have there. But like, if everybody in the server doesn't go like it, they're not gonna be like, "Why didn't you like my videos?" Like it's like
no.
they don't. I think also they don't care either. I think I think that a lot of our friends just don't have that mentality of I got to get views. They really are pretty pure-heartedly just making videos because they enjoy it. They enjoy the hobby,
Mhm.
and to me, that is the best way to do it. Obviously, um, but you guys all know who you are. We love you very much.
Absolutely. And I think with that, we should call it an episode. That's a really beautiful start of the year. Folks, support your friends.
Hey Zed, where can they find more Masters of Matinee content?
Babies, you are going to be in for a trip, because this year, Masters of Matinee is not only on the platforms that you're used to, YouTube, Spotify, but we're branching out. We're becoming bigger and hopefully better. We're starting a TikTok account here soon.
Are you calling me
We
fat?
are, well,
Saying I'm bigger? Come on, buddy. Be
I,
nicer than that.
listen, I didn't ask what your actual New Year's resolutions were. We're talking about movies here. Uh, we could all go out for a longer walk. We could all do that. But at the end of the day, we are striving to make Masters bigger and better and more involved. We want to be more involved in the community. We want to be more involved with each other. We want to make videos on TikTok, and we also want to make original content on YouTube, bring you new shows and episodes of Masters of Matinee, now with video included. We are trying our best, and there's going to be a learning curve, and I hope that you stick along with us while we hurdle over those obstacles. But at the end of the day, where can you find us? Hopefully everywhere soon.
TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, maybe. I don't. Probably not Twitter. Probably not Twitter.
Nah, we don't really need that. We don't really need that.
Maybe Instagram. Maybe.
You know what? Who's to say?
Who's to say?
We got a bunch of handsome folks that we could, why not?
Fucking handsome Squidward over here.
Oh, come on now.
All right. Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy birthday.
Now for something completely different. Masters. 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 Masters of Matinee. Masters of Matinee. Starring Droopy's Biggest Movies, Judas Cinema Closet, JT the Talking Head, Teo the Terminator, and Zedzilla Movies. Masters of Matinee.
Hey folks, I'm Zed, and just like Phineas and Ferb, I'm a bit of a one-hit wonder.